Welcome to the College Investor Audio Show, where we talk about the biggest issues impacting millennial money, from student loan debt to side hustles to building wealth. We will show you how to get out of debt so that you can build real wealth for the future.
If you're thinking about college this year, fall of 2020, and you're a millennial and Gen Zer, you may have heard this from people in their 50s and 60s talking about how, I worked my way through college and I graduated with no debt. Today, that seems impossible. And that has contributed to students graduating with an average of $30,000 in student loan debt or more. So how much does college cost today? And is it even worth it to pay that much for a college degree? That's the topic for today on the College Investor Audio Show. Thanks for being with us. Okay, so the average cost of college since 1985. The National Center for Education Statistics, this is a section of the U.S. Department of Education, very important, has gathered information on average tuition costs for years. In 2019, they released the data that showed that since 1985, tuition for both 2-year and 4-year colleges had increased by more than 4 times by the 16-17 academic year, whether the institution was public or private. Here's a summary of what those numbers look like. Okay, now, all these numbers are adjusted for inflation to reflect 2016, 2017 dollars. The numbers we'll discuss here were calculated to include tuition, fees, as well as room and board. Okay, just a couple side notes there. All right, so during the 1985 and 86 academic year, the average total cost for a college education, regardless of whether it was private or public, was $4,885 when you averaged both 2-year and 4-year degrees or colleges. By 2016 and 2017 academic year, the average cost of a college education per year was just a tick above $23,000. These numbers were then separated to reflect the average cost at a public institution versus a private institution. So here are the public colleges. 1985, $3,571. You kidding me? And then by 2017, the numbers increased to $17,000, $19,000, and $10,000 respectively. That's across the board for 2-year and 4-year colleges. For private schools, 1985, just a little above $8,800. And 2017, this is private, mind you, it is just a tick above $40,000. 40! Wow. We have some really neat graphs and stuff you can see too, and you can find those at thecollegeinvestor.com, just for reference, just to give you an idea. So if you're thinking about the average cost of college over the last 30 years, there's a quick analysis of these numbers, and it shows that over 30 plus years, the cost of going to college has increased by 400 to 500%, regardless of whether the institution was public, private, a 4-year, or 2-year. So what does that mean? What does all this stuff mean? It could mean that college costs will continue to go up for various complex economic reasons. If state governments or federal government doesn't make any decisions about how to make college affordable, those skyrocketing costs could mean students will graduate from college with even higher student loan debt than we have now. So for aspiring college students and parents who might pay for college, this can certainly sound a little bit distressing, to say the least. If you'd like to reduce college costs, here are some ideas you can consider. So, despite all that, number 1, I got 7 things here that you can consider just to save some money. Consider all your options when you decide to pursue a college education. If you want to go directly into a profession like medicine, nursing, or dentistry after school, boy, that's going to make sense to opt for a 4-year degree, knowing that you will be going into these more specialized professions. A 2-year public colleges have been historically lower costing. So even with a 500% increase in the cost of education at a 2-year public school, the average cost still sits at around $10,000 a year. Some people, take the strategy of first attending a 2-year and then transfer to a 4-year college to finish up their last 2 years. Totally a viable path as well if you want to reduce costs. Here's the third tip. If you attend a college or university in your home state, generally the costs stay low. So my recommendation is to check out schools in your own state that offer the program you want to study before you look out of state. Here's number 4. Even though you might start out as an out-of-state student, some schools will allow you to convert to an in-state student after you're able to prove you've lived in a state for a certain period of time. If you'd like to reduce the cost of your college education, you might be able to take that route as well. Here's number 5. So while I'm an advocate for college degrees and graduate degrees that serve your purpose, I also realize that there are high-paying professions out there that don't require you to have a college degree. It's true. You might have to get a certification or attend a vocational school to learn those skills, but this route will not cost you thousands of dollars. Certainly not 40 grand. Hello. Here's number 6. If there are scholarships available to you because you fall into a specific category or group, like the military, a military spouse, Native American, etc., you can take advantage of those as well. And here's number 7. Some jobs offer a college tuition incentive as part of their benefits. That's cool. You can actually take advantage of that too. So, here are some closing thoughts. Unless there's radical intervention, the cost of college in the United States is just going to keep going up. Totally inconvenient, but it's true. Taking some of the steps that we've talked about can help you with reducing those costs so you don't come out of college in way over your head with loans to pay back. Nobody wants that. I hope this was helpful to you just to kind of get some perspective on what's going on, and then I take advantage of those 7 tips that we shared. And there's tons more where that came from. You can find resources, information, and all kinds of different places that you can turn and look just to help you out with this part of your life at thecollegeinvestor.com. Thanks for listening today, and we'll talk to you again very soon. I'm sure of it.